Assalamualaikum, hello, and welcome to yet another episode of Football Moshla. We're here with you today is me, your usual Fardan Ahmed, with my lovely co-host.
Qazi Adil.
And we're here. We want to apologize. We couldn't be here for the game week 19 preview on the FPL because of the time difference and everything. Yes, I'm still in Bangladesh. I'm podding from here, and Adil is all the way in New York. We are managing the time somehow. 11-hour time gap and everything to get the news across, to get all the Moshla across. The Moshla has still affecting me on a fundamental level. As you can see, I did lose a lot of weight, but here we are for you.
So মশলা তোমার খালি বের হইতেছে না? It's just not মানে ইনটেক হচ্ছে আবার বের হয়ে যাচ্ছে. So that's
Moshla is everywhere. Bangladesh though, it's everywhere. I can just say that's everywhere. কোনো মানে
yes.
এর কোনো রেহাই নেই।
একদমই না. So মশলাতে আমরা অনেক কিছু লাস্ট গেম উইকে ডিসকাস করতে পারিনি, অনেক কিছু মিস করছি। তুমি এমনই মশলার পিছে দৌড়াইতেছো যে তোমার পিছে দৌড়াইতে আমারও মানে আর কয়েকদিন পরে মশলা বের হয়ে যাবে। So
I wanted to mention two stories regarding FPL deadline. How I did it. Okay. So since I'm here, আমার main phone is on an eSIM. আমার main phone. So এটাতে আমি বাংলাদেশে কোনো সিম ইউজ করতে পারছি না. So I'm using a Android phone just to regular phone calls and data. So আমি যখন দৌড় দিয়ে আমার বাসায় গেছিলাম, I left my iPhone শ্বশুরবাড়িতে, and deadline was literally 45 minutes বাকি ছিল, 25 minutes বাকি ছিল. So আমরা ঠিক আছে, আমি রিক্সা দিয়ে নামবো, I'll do my thing. বাট নামার পরে দেখি আইফোন নাই আমার সাথে। তারপর আমি আরেকজনকে দিয়ে, লোককে দিয়ে আনাইছি। আসা বলছিল আরেকটা ফোন নাই তো কি হয়েছে, ওখানে ফোন চালাও। আমি বলছি না লাগবে, ফোন লাগবে, কাজ আছে। ঠিক আছে, এখন ফোন আসছে, লিটারালি 12 মিনিট কি 8 মিনিট ছিল, তখন আমি ট্রান্সফার করছি। দিস ওয়াজ 3 গেম উইকস ago, গেম উইক 17 or 16। আর লাস্ট সবচেয়ে ওয়াইল্ডেস্টটা ছিল লাস্ট গেম উইকে, আই এম ওয়াকিং ইন বসুন্ধরা সিটি। আমার ফোনে অ্যালার্ম বাজছে FPL ডেডলাইন। সো আমার সাথে যারা ছিল সবাই জুনিয়র ফ্রেন্ড, ওরা বলতেছে এখন আবার কি? আমি বলছি এটা চেয়ার টেবিলটা বসতে হবে, চেয়ার টেবিল নিয়ে বসতে হবে। ও বলছে চেয়ার টেবিল ভাই, এখন তো লেভেল 8-এ যেতে হবে, এসকেলেটর ব্লক, এলিভেটর ব্লক, এর মাঝখানে একটা দোকানের বাইরে দাঁড়ায় সবাই গোল হয়ে দাঁড়াইছে। আমি বললাম ঠিক আছে, জ্যাকসনকে বাদ দিব, ওকে বেঞ্চ করবো, কুনিয়াকে করবো, কি করবো। ওরাও প্রিমিয়ার লিগ দেখে বাট FPL খেলে না। সো ওরা বলছে ভাই জ্যাকসনকে বেঞ্চ, কুনিয়াকে খেলান, আবার একজন বলে কুনিয়াকে বেঞ্চ ভাই, জ্যাকসনকে খেলান। এমন করতে করতে আমি দেখছি কি, আমি বললাম ভাই ওরা ওয়েস্ট হ্যামের সাথে খেলতেছে, লেট মি লোড আপ মাই মিডফিল্ড। আমি বলছি, ওরা বলে পাগল নাকি আপনি মিডফিল্ড লোড করবেন, আপনি সালাকেও লাগবো, আপনার লুই ডিয়াসকেও লাগবো, জটাকেও লাগবো, পাগল নাকি? আমি বলছি পাগলামি করি, সমস্যা নেই। তখন ও বলছে ভাই এটা আপনার ইচ্ছা। তারপর এক পর্যায়ে বলছে যে করে ফেলেন, ঠিক আছে, টাইম নাই, লিটারালি 4 মিনিটস বাকি, আমি ট্রান্সফার করছি। আই গট ইন জটা অ্যান্ড ডিয়াজ, লুইস ডিয়াজ। And
মাইনাস কত পাইছো?
no
মাইনাস নিছো?
minus, I had 2 transfers.
আচ্ছা, 2 ট্রান্সফার।
Pro transfer, so that really helped me, and I think that এটা মাইনাস ছাড়া ট্রান্সফার করে it's a big relief, big relief. কারণ ওই উইকটাতে ম্যাক্সিমাম পিপল bought in Duran and Fernandez, and both Duran and Fernandez got red cards.
Duran আমাকে I can relate, but আমি ফার্নান্ডেজকে নিয়ে নাই। ম্যানচেস্টার ইউনাইটেড কোনো প্লেয়ারকে নেওয়া উচিত না, apart from lending euro to just save the budget, just for the sake of it.
Right now my humble advice would be to lay off each and every
Manchester United player.
Even
So
for the assistant managership also, no Amorim.
No. Assistant managership তো আমি শুরুই করবো Amorimকে দিয়ে. What are you talking about? You want? I am a guy who took -12. Okay, -12. Nia still standing.
You're crazy, man.
Game week 20 তে আসতেছি, আরো গেম উইক বাকি আছে। যদি -12 না হওয়ার পরে যদি আমি টপ 4 এর মধ্যে ফিনিশ করতে পারি, লাইফ ইজ গুড ম্যান।
Adil be like, চলচ্চিত্র এখনো বাকি আছে আমার বন্ধু।
Yeah, of course. মানে তোমার ডেডিকেশন কি? তুমি কি আমি -12 নিয়ে বসে দেখতেছি একটা ডুরানের বাচ্চা পাড়া দিয়ে লাল কার্ড খাইতেছে, আর ওদিকে ফার্নান্ডেজ চানে সেকেন্ড ইয়ালো খাবে, ওটা খেয়ে ওটাও। Anyways, so তোমার ডেডিকেশনটা আমি অ্যাপ্রিশিয়েট করি। বাংলাদেশে ইসিএম এর ব্যাপারটা নিয়ে আমরা পরে কথা বলবো। এটা মশলাতে পডকাস্টে গেলে মানুষ একদম পুরা হবে না। অ্যান্ড তুমি তো ভাই লোড আপ করে পুরা ডিয়াস আর ডিয়াগোরে নিয়ে তো মানে জটারে নিয়ে তো মানে ফাটায় দিছে একদম পুরা
It
একেবারে।
it was a lucky stroke, honestly. Like getting
তো
9 points from Luis Diaz and Jota playing for literally 32 minutes, and he got a goal. And it was a কি বলবো, it was a godsend.
ইয়া এত এত মানুষ কেমনে করে আমি বুঝি না, মানে এত লাকি হয় কেমনে। মানে আমি
লাক
যা
আসলে
দেখতেছি
কিভাবে করছে।
আমাদের মিনি লিগে তো দেখি টপ 5 টপ 6 পুরা লাকি না। লাকি না, মানে তারা ভেরি মাচ লাক অনলি ফেভার্স দ্য ব্রেভ। দে আর ভেরি ব্রেভ এন্ড ক্যালকুলেট, মানে অ্যানালাইসিস করা শুরু করছে। দ্য আইরনি ইজ যে এই পডকাস্ট শুরু করার পর থেকে আমি গেছি ডাউনে আর বাকি সবাই গেছে আপে, হুইচ ইজ গুড, স্টিল গুড, মানে ইজ ফ্যান্টাস্টিক্যালি ফ্যান্টাস্টিক। হ্যাঁ, সবাই সবাই একদম মানে অ্যানালাইসিস করে শুনে টুনে একদম নিচে যায়, আমার নিচে ফেলা সব উপরে গেছে, বাট দ্যাটস গুড। এটা ছিল টার্গেট। খালি খালি একটা শাউট আউট দিই, আমি সরি তোমার কারণ
হ্যাঁ, সমস্যা সমস্যা।
আমার যে স্ট্রাইক পার্টনার মুকিত, ও আমার সাথে কনসিস্টেন্টলি লেগে আছে। হি ইজ দেয়ার উইথ মি। আমি আর ও এখন মানে কে নাম্বার 9-এ খেলবে আর কে নাম্বার 10-এ খেলবে, ঠিক আছে? সো উই আর অ্যাকচুয়ালি লাইক দ্যাট, এন্ড দ্যাট ইজ ভেরি গুড। মুকিত পারফেক্ট স্ট্রাইক পার্টনার ফর মি, ঠিক আছে? সো আমাদের টার্গেট 9 আর 10 এর মধ্যে থাকার ইচ্ছা আছে।
ওই তো you guys have to be the Mbuemo and Wisa combination আর কি।
একদম পুরা মানে একজন একজনের ছাড়া গোল দিতে পারবে না।
সো
সো
এখানে অনেকগুলো শিখার বিষয় আছে। টপ 5 কে যদি তুমি দেখো, লাইক প্রফেসর, তারপর রাফি, শিহান, কাঞ্চন ভাই যারা আছে, কাজী ভাই ইভেন, শিখার দ্য গুড এন্ড ব্যাড। গুডটা হচ্ছে যে কাঞ্চন ভাই স্টাক টু দ্য নটিংহ্যাম ফরেস্ট ডাবল ডিফেন্স, and it literally it cashed him for him so much. And some people might say it was a shot in the dark. I was not ready for Nottingham Forest defense to be this good, but he has profited so much from the Aina and the cells combination. Big learning factor. Rifaদের থেকে, I think as soon as he got the template, he stuck to each transfer. That's what you should know. But now the template is going to change, because now that Saka is not in the cards, you have 3 midfielder slots that you have to fill. এখানে template is going to go off the rails for the next few weeks at least, because এখন ওই heavy fixture রানটা সবার শেষ। সো চ্যাম্পিয়ন্স লিগের আগে সবাই একটু রিল্যাক্স থাকবে, চ্যাম্পিয়ন্স লিগের পর আবার রোটেশন শুরু হবে। So that's when the trickiness starts. And the other thing was about differential captaincy. Whoever did not captain Salah and went for a different captain got punished heavily. And yes, Adil, you're one of them. I noticed that তুমি যতবারই ক্যাপ্টেন্সিটা করছো, I know that honestly it's not a bad shout. It's definitely good, but you have to look at the numbers. That's how good, how prolific Salah has been. So he's been cashing. He's the fastest. I think he's one of the fastest to get to 200 points. This is his career's best FPL start. Okay, so you cannot rule out Salah. And
ইয়া সো ওইখানে অন দ্যাট ম্যাটার
yeah,
-4টাকে অফসেট করার জন্য ইজাককে ক্যাপ্টেন দেওয়া হয়েছিল, বিকজ আই ব্রট ইন ইজাক, বিকজ I fancied him scoring against Manchester United. So that's why I offset it. And I knew that Salah's going to score and has assist. ওটাতে আমি লুজ করবো। But after -12 and then -8, that would have been too much. Back to back 2 week. So 2 weeks ago আমি -12 নিছি। So তারপরে -8 নিছি। তো নেওয়ার পরে ওটাকে অফসেট করছি with making Isaac captain because he was my -4
can I
basically.
advise you something?
Yes.
This, okay, we have to tell our viewers or listeners that we're gonna do a wildcard draft. That's right. Adil has
Yes.
played his wildcard. So that was the breaking news. So we're gonna do a wildcard draft. This is gonna be our first ever wildcard draft on our channel. So this is exciting stuff for us. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna crunch the numbers. And the reason why the advice I was gonna tell you, after you make your wild card, you have to promise yourself, not me, to not take any minuses for the next 19 weeks.
Oh no, minuses are done.
Okay, good.
Done.
Because
Minuses are done.
I feel like if you stick to whatever that you learn from Kanchan Bhai, Professor Rafi, or whoever, that if you stick to that, you can climb up the mini league rankings, overall rankings, whatever it is.
No, as long as I'm a number 9, I'm very happy because I'm a number 9 by position, like striker, and Mukit is number 10. Or so we need to be number 9 or 10. ঠিক আছে? So that's the goal, ultimate goal. যদি next কত week আছে 19 weeks.
Indian weeks, yes.
19 weeks এ যদি আমরা এই সেম পজিশনে থাকি, that's an achievement. আর তুমি
Consistency.
আর প্রফেসর, you guys duke it out with each other, like কেমনে 1 পয়েন্ট থেকে 3 পয়েন্ট 3 পয়েন্ট 1 পয়েন্ট 4 পয়েন্ট।
Nah, he had a 50-point lead on me.
ওই
But
তো তোমার
because of
তোমার তো বাংলাদেশে অত পোলাপাইন থাকলে তো এটাই হয়। অ্যাডভাইস করতেছে।
পোলাপান একদিন করছে, তাও আবার ওরা তো জোশে জোশে বলছে আমাকে। সো জোশে জোশে বলছে এটা একদিন, বাট বাকি সবকিছু all my transfers, guys, I make it literally last second. I have put an alarm and I do it last second. I don't do craziness no matter what. I know a lot of people say that don't do early because don't do late because the price goes up, but I really don't care. I really want to be sure after listening to all the press conferences.
সার্টেন প্লেয়ার্স যে আমি জানি যে যাদেরকে আমি আনবই, সো তাদেরকে আমি ডেফিনেটলি প্রাইস যাওয়ার আগেই ট্রান্সফার করে ফেলি। আই ডু হ্যাভ সাম প্ল্যানস যেটা থাকে আর কি, আনলেস এই যে ডুরান মার্কা কাজ না হলে আমার প্ল্যানগুলা ঠিকঠাক মতোই চল।
Yeah,
ডুরান আর ব্রুনোর মতো।
প্রফেসরের সাথে কিন্তু ডুরান ফার্নান্ডেজ রেড কার্ডের কারণে বেচারা he took a -4 and he did transfers and he bought in these two players and he got -2 -2, so he ended up being -8 in that game week. So that helped me get close to him, but then again it's not going to happen every week. So it's a stroke of luck. Luck favors, or it can bring you down ruthlessly in FPL. Anyways, we have to move along. Do you want to do your draft and then discuss the transfers, or how do you want to do it?
No, discuss the transfers first.
Okay.
We're gonna say the wildcard draft for the last part because
Best for the last, baby.
I don't know if it's gonna be best, but it's something that to
Oh,
give.
I'm excited to discuss your draft, actually.
That's gonna take a lot of analysis.
A lot of ifs and buts.
Ifs and buts.
So, as we can see that Liverpool are cruising. So, obviously, like Liverpool are facing Manchester United at home. So, as you know, this team is number 14 in the league. We don't want to talk about that team, but we'd love to talk about Liverpool. Are Liverpool gonna get a clean sheet? Yes. Should you bring in Trent Alexander-Arnold? By all means. Should you captain Salah? By all means. Should you have Luis Diaz, Jota, or Gakpo? Now, Jota will. Yes, so Adil has noticed a few things about Gakpo. I'll let him take the floor for Gakpo. Why Gakpo?
Favorite of Arne Slot, Dutch connection, left wing এ সবসময় খেলায়, Luis Diaz কে সে left wing খেলায় না একদমই। So Luis Diaz plays as a striker or false nine. They sometimes rotate between Gakpo and Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz is not a starter. Jota is not a starter. Nobody knows Jota how many minutes he's going to play, but he's very prolific. Jota comes in and he scores, but he always most of the time comes from the bench. Gakpo starts, assists, scores. I think, and since here's the thing, Gakpo should be starting as a striker. FPLO, he is a striker. He's a forward. You cannot actually bring him in midfield, and that is the whole confusion starts with Luis Diaz and Gakpo. So my thing is this: that Gakpo will start, he will assist or score. He should be the striker. If you want to play with 3 up top, I think Gakpo should be considered in the next few game weeks. At least for the Manchester United one.
Yeah,
Because Salah and Gakpo will go crazy.
because for the Nottingham Forest is the next weekend. It's for 15th January. There's a big gap. I think there's some kind of Champions League break or something in the middle. I'm not sure, because there's a big gap between Gaming 20 and 21. We're not playing that week. So Nottingham Forest away, Liverpool is going to be a great match between Liverpool and one of the best defenses in the league. But before that, for Manchester United, you can bring in Gakpo for that. Now about Jota Diaz, yes, you're right. Heavy rotation. For example, I'm sorry guys, I said that very convincingly that Jota will start that match, but he came on as a sub, and I would like to apologize for being so bluntly wrong about this. So Jota Diaz, even though I have those 3, I'm gonna keep those 3 for the Manchester United match because I'm greedy. I just want points.
At the expense of Manchester United?
Yes, I will. Now Manchester United in the last, I think, many years have only scored 1 goal against Liverpool against all matches. So that's why Liverpool will, I think, they will demolish Manchester United. Anyways, moving on to much worse things. In terms of the fixture ticker, Aston Villa is facing Leicester at home. Fulham is facing Ipswich at home. Now, Fulham has a great run of fixtures theoretically. So my transfer target is Watkins because Konya has been suspended until 15 January. I also have Timber, who is suspended also until 15 January. So these two transfers I kind of have to make. I'm not sure how to. So I'm heavily thinking on bringing in Watkins this week. Now that Duran is not there, he will be pulling up the socks and trying to score against a very leaky Leicester team. I'll also consider Raul Jimenez to bring in for the Ipswich game. Now, Ipswich just came off a win from of Chelsea. Brilliant, brilliant win. We did not see that coming. Palmer was a flop, even though he was man of the match. But still, the Ipswich press is deadly, in my opinion. And Fulham Ipswich, I really don't know if I should bring in Jimenez this week or not.
I think you should. I think because unless তোমার যদি থাকে, if you have the transfer, like if you have the space, it's 5.5 million pounds. So one of the cheaper options. The fixtures for Fulham is pretty.
I have two transfers.
How? How do you get two transfers?
The
Even
crazy
last week,
story I made was game week 18, not 19.
this
19, I
guy,
didn't
I
make
don't
any
know, man.
transfer.
Ore bodhai, I think you have some favoritism with FPL. I think. Do you
I
did you
wish.
did you hack their system and getting free transfers now?
I
Or
wish.
is there a magic hack that you can get free transfers, two transfers per week? Because every time I talk to you, it's like I got two transfers. I got two transfers. How do you get two transfers every week?
What helped me is that during the festive period and the traveling chaos, there's a lot of transfers I didn't do. I stuck to my team.
We should take screenshots of his teams now from now on, and
I
then
don't
we
mind.
can. I have আমি মানে একটু ছেড়ে দিছিলাম তোমার দেখতেছিলাম না হ্যাঁ তখন like let professor and scientist duke it out and then there is a student there in between them and then there is always a mullah in between so uh so the mullah now is in between the
কত কোড নেম না
scientist
সবার?
ekdam code name. I think I hope they listen to this podcast so that they can actually send me the nice comments like
আজাদও আছে, আজাদ।
আজাদও আছে না আজাদ আছে সো আমার কথা হচ্ছে যে তুমি তোমার এটা দেখতে হবে what is going on, how are you getting two transfers, like we need to analyze this,
We'll dedicate a pod to my FPL
how to get
account.
two transfers every other week, every week, I guess. Okay, so that's your striking situation and
Yeah,
the
so
whole
I'm
thing,
in
right?
a bit
These
of
are
a
the transfers.
dilemma because if to do my dilemma, I was crunching to fix my dilemma. I was crunching the numbers that who should I bring in, since I have Robinson, and since Nottingham Forest are playing Nottingham Forest are playing Wolves away, and the next match is Liverpool and then Southampton. So I really wanted to bring in Aina in place of Milenkovic. But it doesn't, I mean, it's almost like a loss because I'm trading in the same team's player. So probably I don't want to do it, but probably I might take a page out of Kanchanbhai's pocket and put cells and double up because Arsenal really, really, really disappointed me against that Mbumo goal they conceded within the first 15 minutes. I was doubling up on the defense. I had Timber and Raya, and I was very furious. Like, I'm like, why would you do that? And then they came up with 3 goals after the second half. Arteta Jari. But Arsenal are playing Brighton away, who are very, very good at home. So I don't think Arsenal will be keeping a clean sheet. But I'm joking. I think Bollywood হয় না. So I really have to decide between Cells and Raya.
For the long term, I think you should hold on to Raya because Arsenal at defense যদি Gabriel or Saliba or Timber fit থাকে
Timber is
so
suspended until 15 Jan.
yeah, but it's only a couple of game weeks, right? Isn't it one game week? I think it's one game week.
One game week, yeah.
Yeah, so Saliba and Gabriel থাকলে Raya is protected. And Nottingham Forest, the test will be against Liverpool. ওটা দেখার পরে you should think about transferring or putting cells and stuff like that. So I think Sales first half very good chilo. Second half of the season, I don't know. Nottingham Forest. So
Good
that's
observation.
because the fixtures are the tough ones are coming up. So let's see how he does against the Liverpool
I
attack.
would like to mention the two differentials. One would be Phil Foden
Mhm.
for facing West Ham at home. I
Mhm.
think Foden might do very, very good in this fixture
Yeah, it's a
against the West Ham
8.9
fixture.
million or something, 8 million pound
Yeah,
transfer.
I'm heavily considering bringing him for 1 week since I'm only doing craziness with the Liverpool midfield. So I'm heavily considering him. I'm not sure if I will. And Bournemouth are playing Everton home, who cannot score goals. So Bournemouth, I think, will definitely keep a clean sheet. So for defense, I'm heavily banking on Kirkes or Hughesen. Now Hughesen might get transferred out in the January window. So that's also like
Who's
I'm
who's
all over.
who is he going to? Juventus? Back to Juventus? Isn't he
Maybe.
loaned from Juventus? Yes.
I read something. I read so many articles I can't keep track. Actually, there's so many transfer rumors.
Yeah. So okay, so Houston is a very good pick. It's 4.4 million pounds, and he's a good pick. Howson, right?
I think so. I apologize for my
No, I don't know. It's a
Danish name.
different Danish name, but he's represents Spain.
He does.
Yeah, I think he was part of the Holland youth team setup, and now he's Spanish international. I mean, I think
Interesting.
he's represent. I don't know. That's what
Interesting.
I saw on the
Anyways,
FPL.
those were my few cents. What do you think about the
Yeah.
transfer situation?
Now you want me to play my wild card? Let's talk
No, do you
about
have
that.
any recommendation for transfers?
I do. Gakpo,
Okay.
Watkins for this game week. Gakpo, Watkins, Atake. Evan Nilsson also because they're playing home to Everton. Midfield, it's Gordon, Anthony Gordon against Tottenham. A Gordon Isaac combination. I still think I fancy Sarr scoring against Chelsea, even if they lose the game. I fancy Ismail Sarr scoring. Chelsea might score more, but it's a
No,
home.
Crystal Palace have turned a corner, so
No, last game week, Sarr only returned 2 points, so the return was not good. But I still fancy because after that, I think there is a one tricky fixture, and after that, Crystal Palace has better fixtures. So
yeah, I think they're
Ismail
facing
Sarr,
Southampton next. Yeah, no,
and
Leicester
then
next.
and then Rogers. It would have been fantastic if he wasn't suspended, but then Aston Villa's fixtures get trickier. So Rogers, you might hold on to him, but he's a 5.5 mil transfer, so it's a good one. Midfield আরো আছে. I think budget picks are Anthony Elanga.
Hmm.
I think Harry Wilson of Fulham, because they're playing Ipswich at home, might be a good one. Iobi আছে, Andres Pereira আছে, Fulhamer. So Fulham players are there. In defense, Robinson definitely. Assiste high আছে. Eina, আমি জানি না এই উইকে নিব নাকি. Saliba is a very consistent for me. Point return আসে না, but long term এর জন্য. Gabriel Saliba and all those others. But if you really want budget picks, Dean Hewson, Louis Hall, and I think Robinson. এই এগুলোর মধ্যে আছে. I think these are this is a good template for budget picks. And goalkeeper, I think Kepa for this week. Bournemouth might keep a clean sheet. Kepa is a keeper. Kepa, basically. And then I mean, Sales কে রাখতে পারো এই উইকে, তারপরে লিভারপুলে ট্রান্সফার. That's it.
I'm gonna mention whatever names he mentioned in midfield: Wilson, Ilanga, Morgan Rogers. এই নামগুলো, these are all budget enablers. Which is Cole Palmer from last season, someone like a 5.56 million defender, sorry, midfielder, who's gonna help you spread the money into premiums in your team. So I think that if you wanna play a wild card, which my friend is doing, so budget enabler is someone you definitely should consider.
আর প্রিমিয়ামের মধ্যে মিডফিল্ডে শাউট আউট টু মার্টিনেলি, and I think attack Gabriel Jesus. You want to take a chance on him? You can. So Martinelli can replace Saka if those were to. I mean, there's a lot of chatter about Odegaard replacing Saka, but I don't think so. I think it should
Me
be
too.
either Martinelli or Luis Diaz.
The stats say that Odegaard is not as effective without Saka on the pitch because
Yes.
he's running like a headless chicken. He's trying to protect everything, everyone. So Martinelli and Jesus are definitely great shouts for me.
But ও একটু ইনজুরি পরে আসার পরে একটু স্ট্রাগল করতেছে I should not say that because অনেকে offended হবে. There are a lot of Arsenal fans listening to this
Yeah.
podcast. So, but yeah, he's Saka's সাথে combination না থাকলে ওর একটু problem হয়. So I think Martinelli over Odegaard in the next few fixtures.
Which
All right,
are
so are we?
Brighton away, Tottenham at home, Aston Villa at home, and Wolves away.
That's a pretty easy one, right?
Not Aston Villa, but maybe Tottenham at home might be an easy one for Arsenal. Not London Derby.
টটনহ্যামের তো গোল তো ম্যানচেস্টার ইউনাইটেডের মতো করেই খায়
But they suck in defense.
Yeah, they don't have ওই যে ও ডগি আছে না ডগি ডগিটা না এখন ইয়েতে নাই he's injured so they don't have defense right now.
Yeah, they might lose Mickey Van de Ven.
Is he injured or is he transferred?
He might get transferred.
Where?
Again, I'm sorry, I read so many articles I can't keep
Nah,
track.
not this January. If he's getting transferred, তার আগে ওর কোচ ট্রান্সফার হবে. So
What's the
Ange
problem?
might will be transferred. Okay, so are we ready for the wild card?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so here we go. Let's go for the wild card. This is
Okay.
my wild card. So
As we can see.
as you can see, আমার Kepa and Verbruggen. Verbruggen, yes. The reason is that it's 4.5, 4.5. The reason আমি এখানে সেলস কে আনতে পারতাম with I could have brought in Kepa, I could have kept Sells and Kepa. I did think about it. But since it's a wild card and it's going to be for the long term, I want Saliba, Robinson, and Trent.
Why don't you
And
consider
Hall.
a Fulham keeper?
It's pricey, 5.5. Leno, he's pricey. 4.5 এর মধ্যে, these are the two best ones. And Henderson. So Henderson can be an option, but আমি Hendersonকে রাখছি একদিন, so I don't like keeping him. It's like, I'm probably gonna play Kepa and rotate with Verbruggen. Okay. The reason for that,
The problem with that is Bournemouth and Brentford, right? Bournemouth and Brentford have the exact level of difficulty in the upcoming matches, which means this game, if you play Kepa next week, you have to consider Bournemouth playing Chelsea and Brentford playing Manchester City. The following week, you have to consider Bournemouth playing Newcastle and
you're talking
Brentford
about
playing Liverpool.
Brighton or Brentford?
Brentford.
Verbruggen is Brighton.
Actually,
the Brighton keeper.
I'm so sorry, Allah. I mean, now Valdi Marsoner সাথে mix up করে ফেলছি. Okay, let me see. Brighton. Yeah, with Brighton, he will rotate very nicely with Kepa, actually. You're right.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's at Brighton. He's Brighton. He's not
Yes.
Brentford. Brentford at the Flecken.
Yes, sorry.
Your favorite keeper, Flecken, he made the most saves last season, and this season he's in the process of making more saves. But কেউ ওরা fancy করে না, clean sheet দেয় না বলে।
Because of his defense, they suck.
Yeah. So এখন there's a big question mark on this Saliba. ঠিক আছে? এই মানুষটাকে আমি কি করব আমি জানি না। So I'm not gonna play him. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna play him against Brighton. এটাও বলে দিতেছি। আমার ডিফেন্স হবে হচ্ছে রবিনসন, ট্রেন্ট আর হল। আর এই যে ওশে আছে না, আমি জানি না if he's the son of John O'Shea, but this guy, he's O'Shea from Ipswich and he starts. এখন জিনিসটা দাঁড়ায় গেছিল হচ্ছে যে with 4.1 million pounds there were very limited options who actually plays.
Why don't
O'Shea
you play
was,
Leave Davis?
who's that?
Leave Davis. He from Ipswich. He had the most assists in the championship last season. He had 18 assists last season.
Last season রে ভাই, আমি এই সিজনের কথা বলতেছি। এই সিজনে ইপসউইচের এই প্লেয়ারের ফর্মই বেশি compared to Greaves and আরেকটা কি জানি They're another Ipswich guy.
Leave
So
Davis already has so many points. Like he had a 10-pointer
is he
against
is he
Leicester.
4.1 million?
He's 4.5.
See, that's the thing. I need 4.1. Reason হচ্ছে আমি যে এই টাকাগুলোর কথা বলতেছি, the reason is because of where I'm coming in midfield and the attack. So midfield এই Palmer আর Salah তো consistent.
Hmm.
Gordon is a premium pick. So এখন এই কি বলে Sar is
I can tell you, Sar is a budget enabler for you. Andres Pereira is also a budget enabler for you. What I think that Andres Pereira has a great set piece threat. Okay, but Andres Pereira will get that odd assist or something for you, but he might not be your Smith Rowe that he was in the first few weeks. So your main three midfielders are Gordon, Salah, Papa. Okay,
yes.
whenever
Yeah.
you want to play three strikers, you will have to play those three. Then you have to rotate between Sar and Andres Pereira. Unless you play two strikers and you can have five midfielders, which I personally like because with five midfielders you have more potential for bonus points. So that's what I think that you should do. But Gordon and Andres Pereira, the only thing that I would say that maybe not Andres Pereira, maybe you should have somebody else.
Well, it was a consideration between Andres and Wilson. Wilson was 5.2 and he's 5 million. So I need the money because I want my boy Gakpo.
Hmm.
I'm very bullish on Gakpo. I don't know why. There's no data backing it. Maybe for the last few game weeks there is data backing it that he scored and assisted and he started. But Gakpo for 7.2 million should be in the midfield. So what I can do is that when Rodgers is back and depending on his form, I might bring Rodgers back in for Sar. And by the way, as a new tidbit, Morgan Rodgers used to play for Manchester City's academy.
Nice.
So they let him go, just like Cole Palmer. So Morgan Rodgers for Sar, and then Gakpo, if he's doing good, that's fine. He stays. If he's not, he will be replaced by Cunha, right?
If you need to have a midfielder from Fulham, it should be Iwobi.
I somehow don't fancy him. I just don't fancy him. He's very inconsistent to me. If you, I mean, in our mini league, somebody brought him in, made him captain, and backfired. Remember?
Yes, it did. Iwobi is in the top 10 high scoring midfielders this season as of the first half of FPL. He has scored more points than Anthony Gordon. He has scored more points than Son, more points than Kulusevski.
So you will be for Sar, or you will be for.
Sar is not even in the top 15.
But he might be. That's what I'm thinking. You look at the Crystal Palace fixtures. I fancy Sar scoring.
Okay, tell me about the fixtures. Let's talk it through.
So Crystal Palace fixtures are basically is it Leicester away?
Okay.
After Chelsea, away to West Ham, home to Brentford, away to Manchester United, home to Everton, up until game week 26, away to Fulham.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, Sar is a good pick for any non-Chelsea. Nah, actually, he's a good pick. Yeah, Sar is a good pick.
So Iwobi is a good pick. If you have the money, if you can replace Iwobi with, if you can replace Andres with Iwobi. But then তখন দাঁড়ায় যাচ্ছে আমি সেটা করতে পারবো. Then Evan Nilsson has to be downgraded to either Raul Jimenez or my boy Strand Larson. He scored, by the way, last game week. So the question is, this is a wild card that I have. This is a draft. I have yet to finalize this. I mean, I might change it. The deadline, by the way, FPL deadline is Saturday morning, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please remember that. And I might change this, but the only consistent is going to be I'm going to stick with Isaac and Gakpo. The striker can change. Evan Nilsson can change. Sar and Andres can change. Gakpo, Isaac, Salah, Palmer. Palmer, if I am brave enough, maybe not this season, but maybe when I'm very well versed, I will I will get rid of Palmer for 1 game week or 2 weeks and bring in somebody else. Because I'll see if he doesn't score against Crystal Palace, because he goes in, like you said, he goes in bits and pieces.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So Crystal Palace সাথে যদি খারাপ করে, and then you might look at replacing him with somebody else.
I just did
For
some number crunching for you also, but তুমি শেষ করো আমি বলতেছি.
And then another thing is that Saliba is for the long run, or Gabriel, whatever. Just think about it. I'm not going for Timber. Saliba or Gabriel. Gabriel goal threat আছে, but Saliba looks like a more well-rounded one for the long run. If I want to hold on to somebody for 19 weeks, bearing injuries, that's Saliba and Trent, right? But the question is, once I don't have Saliba, I might have budget defenders. So maybe this will be Hall, Hewson, maybe Aina, and Robinson. And Trent is the only premium defender. So that is a possibility. I can play that card as well for 19 weeks or so. Maybe মাঝখানে একটা দুইটারে change করতে পারি. I can save some money on Saliba and bring in, let's say, maybe an Isaac, Gakpo, and maybe a Wood.
All
But
your money, yeah. Go ahead.
But Wood is only good for this next game week. After that, the fixtures get a little
Tricky.
So that is the
All your money is tied up on 4 players: Saliba, Trent, Salah, and Palmer, and
yes,
Gakpo to some extent, and sorry,
yes,
Isak to some extent.
Isaac, yeah.
So this is where all the money is, and you have spread it nicely actually. Not bad, but I did some number crunching for you based on 5 million defender, Andres Pereira. On that 5 million price point, the highest scoring midfielder is a very underrated midfielder from Brentford. It's Damsgaard. He has scored more points than Andres Pereira. There's also Thomas Suchek from West Ham. I don't think anybody would like to pick. Suchek has come in with a lot of goals and assists. There's also Caicedo from Arsenal. Sorry, Chelsea.
No, Chelsea,
From
yes.
Chelsea, who has scored 55 points. Yes, sir. So the why we're mentioning these 5 million players is because if you have them on the bench and there's a rotation or an injury or something, these people can get you those vital 2-3 points off the bench. So
Recently, sorry to mention the Dango guy from
Dango, definitely. Right underneath Caicedo is Buonanotte from Leicester, and tied with Buonanotte is Dango, who is actually having a great season under Bournemouth, because this Dango Unchained, as I would like to call it, is
এইটার জন্য পেরেরাকে রিপ্লেস করে ড্যাঙ্গোরে নেব. Let's see how Dango and I serious. If I'm sticking with a 5.0 pound midfielder, Dango. That's it. Dango.
Dango. Anyway,
Andreo
so
আছে, Wolves-এর Andreo
Dango
আছে, but
has
Dango,
done so
yeah.
good. Like, he's got 12 points against Ipswich. He scored 6 against Manchester United. He scored 6 against Fulham. So that's someone you should heavily consider. And he's only 5 million, and he's from Bournemouth. So you might not never know. If you bring in Evan Nilsson, Dango will unchain and give you those points as he assists Evan Nilsson. So
And then there is a Baliba there too, Brightoner. That's a 5 million budget pick.
sure, better
Okay.
than any broccolis.
Broccoli was just a showcase, just like my O'Shea guy. He's gonna be a showcase. Actually, O'Shea could replace করতে পারতাম আমি Yoro-কে দিয়ে. He's 4.3. Yoro would have played in my team. He would, like, Yoro is a very good budget pick. Let him get fit, and ওরে কিছু Southampton against খেলাবো আমি. যদি
By
আমি
the
ওরা
way, Dango has to be a YouTube short.
Dango Unchained. ওর পুরো নামটা বলো তো? Outara Dango.
Ottara Dango.
ওই তারা Dango.
হ্যাঁ, আর ইন্ডিয়ান হলে বলতো ওত্তরি ড্যাঙ্গো।
Ottari Dango. Ottari Dango. Acha. So Dango is coming in for Andres then.
Definitely, I would highly recommend.
তারপরে যা হবে দেখা যাবে. মশলা
হ্যাঁ,
ফরমেশন খেলো আর রাখে আল্লাহ
রাখে আল্লাহ
মারেকে
মারেকে।
ফরমেশন. রাখে আল্লাহ
Jinx.
মারেকে ফরমেশন. So Dango আসতেছে. So but here's the thing. Evan Nilsson থাকবে না João Pedro? João Pedro is cheaper.
I would say go
আমি
with your
খেলাবো.
gut feeling.
I think Evan Nilsson,
I
man.
don't think you should play Pedro until Welbeck is back. Well, as soon as Welbeck is back, consider Pedro.
So this is a good scenario. আমি এভানেন্সের সাথে রাখতে চাই, বাট আরেকটা সিনারিও আছে, there is a wood factor, right? আমি wood আর কোনিয়া হাইপ ট্রেন্ডটা মিস করছি, so there is a wood factor. এখন কোয়েশ্চেন হচ্ছে
Wood
only
fact?
for one game week,
Wood fact?
should I bring the wood factor? Like, should I consider the wood factor because it's only one game week? Wood factor আছে, and also Watkins আছে, Watkins also, but ডুরান আসলে কি করবে আমি জানি না। সো ওয়াটকিন্সকে যদি আনতে হয় তাহলে আমার পুরো বাজেটেই সবকিছু ভরে দিতে হবে।
Yeah,
সো
but
তখন ওই
Watkins and Isak is going to take away most of your money, and then you would have to get rid of Gakpo.
না, আমি অ্যাকচুয়ালি গ্যাকপো, ইজাক আর ওয়াটকিন্সকে রাখছিলাম, বাট মাই ডিফেন্স ওয়াজ
That's a crazy forward line.
মেবি আই ক্যান প্লে দ্যাট, রাইট? 19 উইকসের জন্য হোল্ড করে রাখলে কি হবে? ডিফেন্সটা মার খাবে, রাইট? ড্যাঙ্গল থাকবে আমার,
If you
ড্যাঙ্গল
want to
থাকবে।
do a week by week basis, then Wood was great for this fixture, Wolves, because the Wolves has conceded 40 goals this season.
এলাঙ্গার সাথে কম্বিনেশন ভালো, সো এলাঙ্গা ইজ এ বাজেট। সো ইফ আই ব্রিং ইন লেটস এ ওয়ার্ড, দেন আমাকে এলাঙ্গাকে আনতে হবে, সো সারকে চেঞ্জ করে এলাঙ্গাকে আনতে পারি আমি। বাট দেন
Yeah,
এগেন,
I'm bringing Sar next week.
আই মিন তাহলে আমাকে টাকাটা রাখতে হবে আর কি।
Yeah.
So Saliba. So now the Saliba factor for wildcard. Should I have an Arsenal defense? Because you were very bullish about having a Newcastle defense, and I'm pretty sure after I bring in Hall, this thing's gonna go down. Newcastle defense ekdom pura baje hoye jabe.
No.
So give me the Saliba factor. What are we doing?
I would recommend getting Gabriel over Saliba. Gabriel is a bonus point magnet.
Acha.
So Gabriel has more goal threat than Saliba. And weirdly enough, Timber got me 3 bonus points when they got their clean sheet few weeks back. So the bonus points always rotate among Gabriel, Timber, and Raya mostly, and Saka nai. So defense এখন এগুলা বেশি পাচ্ছে. So now that Timber is also going to be gone for this week, and Aston Villa and Arsenal are playing. I forgot who they're playing this week. They're
Brighton.
playing Brighton away.
Yeah.
জন্য আমি আর্সেনাল ডিফেন্সে ডাবল আপ করতেছি না মোস্ট লাইকলি এই উইকের জন্য whatever, but long term এর জন্য it has to be Gabriel for you.
So long term এর জন্য it can be Gabriel. So Arsenal defense থাকতেই হবে.
I feel like yes.
Okay. So তাহলে আমার ডিফেন্সে খুব বেশি
The
চেঞ্জ করে
reliable
কিছু না।
defense, I think we really have it in front of us. It's Arsenal, it's Fulham, it's Liverpool, Newcastle. So ঘুরে ফিরে
Newcastle for now.
for now until things change, because Newcastle is going through a great run.
And then goalkeeper is fine, right? Rakhe Allah mareke duita 4.5 niye thaki.
I would want to get rid of Verbruggen. I want to get rid of.
But sales ke anle ton then it's a 4.8. Then who should I downgrade? Like then I have to downgrade the striker. Evan Nelson
Okay, let me do the number crunching for you for keepers. Tell me how much you have in the bank for
0.
না আচ্ছা ওর দাম কত ভার্ব্রুগেনের দাম কত
4.5.
So if I look at
It's either I think Henderson, I think it's Pickford, sells Henderson, and Henderson the last few weeks, I think.
so Henderson, Flecken, Kepa, Verbruggen. I think you did the data right. Oh my god. Yeah, Henderson. Brighton for clean sheets, because you need the goalkeeper for clean sheets.
I don't mind bringing in Flecken. That's gonna allow me 4 point. That's gonna be 4.4.
Flecken cannot play.
That's fine. I'll play Kepa, and then Flecken যখন আসবে তখন Flecken
As
কে
soon
খেলাবো.
as you start next week, you cannot play Kepa because Bournemouth's fixture is going to be very bad. Starting next week, Bournemouth is playing Chelsea away, Newcastle away. So in those fixtures, you cannot expect clean sheets from Bournemouth unless, I don't know, Bournemouth defensively are also a reliable defense. Man, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
Lewis Dunk is there. I think you're getting confused by a lot of influenced. You're getting influenced by a lot of Bangladeshi people. যারা FPL খেলে না. Data is all over the place. তোমার ডিসিশন মেকিংটা কিন্তু ডিসিশন আবার ঠিক নিজের বেলায় কিন্তু ঠিকই ডিসিশন নাও একদম খানদানি ঝাক্কাস মানুষকে অ্যাডভাইস করা হচ্ছে একদম মানে এরা নিতেছো কেন ওরা নিতেছো কেন নিজের বেলায় একদম জাপানের জার্সি পরে একদম নাগা
বাংপান, বাংপান,
পুরা নাগা মোটো হ্যাঁ জাপানের নাকি সো
মিটোমা।
যাই হোক মিটোমাকে তো আমি মিডফিল্ড আনবো না আই এম নট ব্রিং হিম ইন দ্যাটস ডেটা যেটাই সাজেস্ট করুক
না, his data is not that reliable, so
ইনজুরিতেও একটু প্রবলেম আছে বাট প্রফেসর সামথিং দেখছে প্রফেসর ব্রড হিম ইন হোল্ডিং অন টু
Professor
হিম
brought him. Yeah, Professor brought him.
yeah yeah professor though so maybe professor is right I'm wrong so 19 weeks এ জানা যাবে uh, so আমার ডিফেন্স ঠিক আছে right you say the defense is
I
fine
think your defense is good, but it's Gabriel. I would put Gabriel. Goalkeeper wise, I think you did the right numbers crunching. You should stick to those. They will rotate nicely. You might not be guaranteed clean sheets, but at least you'll get a few points. Kepa is known for good save points.
and
Uh,
then O'Shea is my filler
Olshay is your new broccoli,
he's my new broccoli
and Bandes
তাহলে আমি
Pereira should.
তোমার বেন জনসনেরও আনতে পারি তোমার বয় বেন জনসন যে there's you saw the video where he pushed Arsenal defense into each other so that they cannot score
It was beautiful.
yeah we cannot share it here but my boy Ben Johnson
But yeah,
not my boy your boy sorry
my boy Ben Johnson. He's warming up my bench for 18 weeks. Andres Pereira should go for
Dango
Dango Unchained, and
yeah
your forward line is okay for now unless you want to bring in Wood.
no I don't want to bring in Wood আমি কুনিয়ারে আনতে চাই so next হয়তো বা Gakpo replaces Kunia or
Okay.
something like that but কুনিয়া আসার সাসপেনশন থেকে আসার পরে দেখা যাবে how he fares so this is the wild card for those who are considering it
Yes.
but again I'm playing it doesn't mean that everybody's going to play it. I don't think anybody's going to play the wild card. I think I'm the only one out of the entire FPL. That's
No,
what the data is. Is it? I'm the only one? No?
no, people are pushing the button a lot. There are a lot of
Okay.
desperate people out there.
So they're pushing the button. So, and then we will wrap it up by saying, to me, at a suggestion though, you said that you should play the wild card. Well, you're going to play it in game weeks, middle of the game. Because,
And we can get
another
rid
thing.
of this screen.
I'll get rid of the screen. Another thing.
Hmm.
The team that I envision, the one that I did for wildcard, is because I will play the assistant manager chip. And something to remember, if you have 3 players from one team, you cannot pick the manager of that team. So basically, if you want to start with Arne Slot, you cannot have 3 Liverpool players. Arne Slot is the 3rd Liverpool player, basically. So I will have to get rid of Gakpo to bring in Arne Slot, and then I will be stuck with Arne Slot for 3 weeks. And then আমার ওখান থেকে একটা ট্রান্সফারও চলে যাবে সো ইউ হ্যাভ টু কিপ দ্যাট ইন মাইন্ড সো এভরি উইকে ট্রান্সফার ইজ এফেক্টেড সো ম্যানেজার ট্রান্সফার করলে ওই উইকে আবার কোনো প্লেয়ার ট্রান্সফার করা যাবে না ইউ ক্যানট that's what the thing is I think if I'm not completely wrong I know that once after 3 weeks you want to transfer the manager that's your transfer for the week one transfer you're not getting one transfer for the manager and one transfer for the player. That's not happening. You're only getting one free transfer. So you have to keep that in mind when you're building your team. So I will suggest, yes, I'm number 9 right now. I intend on staying number 9 in our mini league. But my thing is this, Jay, if you are playing the assistant manager, keep that in mind. That's how you build your team. Instead of bringing in Wood 1 week, then bringing in, let's say, Watkins 1 week, just think about for the long-term strategy. Cumulative points jara beshi dibe. Is that correct, Mr. Scientist?
I feel like you're already like thinking ahead. That's a good thing that you're mapping up your second half of the season. Slot is definitely someone to target, but I feel like bottom 10 এর একটা ম্যানেজারকে পিক করলে যাদের
Areola is not bottom 10, but আমি Areola কে দিয়েও start করতে পারি. That's why
yeah, because I really want to target fixtures. So this is, by the way, I'm just thinking fresh because I haven't given it much thought. So you're getting the raw brain, whatever this is, brain matter. That পরপর 3টা উইকে যার ভালো ফিক্সচার বা ডিসেন্ট ফিক্সচার আছে and your gut feeling says your team is gonna score, and তাদের সাথে খেলা আছে যারা 4 ধাপ উপরে, like 4
Huh.
spaces
I think 5
on top of
spots.
the 3 spots or 4 spots on top.
4 or
5.
5. 5
Sorry
হইতে
guys,
পারে।
on the data ভুল হইলে, but I want to bank up more on those points. So again, I told you at the beginning of the podcast, I'm too greedy for points now. So this assistant managership is gonna make or break someone's season. I wanted to make my season because I messed up my triple captain. So for those, so this I want to get like tons of points from this assistant managership. So I have to give it a lot of thought. And yes, we will do a pod on when to do your assistant manager.
Yes, that starts from game week 24, and we will definitely do in-depth one before we start playing, and during we have the playing, we'll definitely do that. And hopefully by that time, Fardan will be back where he belongs. You know, I mean,
Inshallah.
top of the mini league FPLA. You know?
Oh, I don't know. That's a tough one. It's very tough because we have a very competitive mini league.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's fun. The only two consistent people are number 9 and number 10. Very consistent. You know. So I say we're gonna wrap up with captains. Captains for this week is very easy. So my pick is for captains Mo Salah. Mo Salah is the easiest pick.
Yeah,
What do you
it's a
think?
no-brainer. They're playing against, as my Choto Bhai likes to call it, he calls them Modubag Unnoyan. So they're playing against Modubag Unnoyan, which is also known as Manchester United. But there are some other options. There is Watkins, there is Evan Nilsson, and there is Raul Jimenez. But going back to the earlier part of the pod, whoever has picked a captain who was not Mo Salah has suffered. So choose carefully. There's also data that suggests that Watkins might not be as effective without Morgan Rogers. So that's why I'm considering to not bring in Watkins. Again, as Adil infamously said, that আমি নিজের বেলায় অনেক বেশি calculative, so I don't know what I'm gonna do.
We have only a few hours to find out. Take a
Yes.
sip. So we'll
সবার
see
একটা
you
একটা করে
tomorrow.
ক্যামেরা চলে যাচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ, মানে এটা তো ওই যে ওয়াটকিন্স আর ওই যে ওই ক্যাপ্টেন সালার কথা আর ম্যানচেস্টার ইউনাইটেডের কথা বললে সব চলে যায়, কারণ ম্যানচেস্টার ইউনাইটেড এখন এমন অবস্থা, we can crowd fund and buy Manchester United. You know that, right?
Yes, we
So
can.
can you tell the new regime in Bangladesh to actually chip in so that we can actually buy Bangladesh অনেক
Sure.
পোলাপাইন, we can
রিজার্ভে
operate.
টাকা নেই তো বাংলাদেশে।
না পারবে বাংলাদেশ পারবে. So we can all chip in from Bangladesh and New York and buy Manchester United. তোমাকে দিয়ে ইঁদুরটা দূর করাবো. First the rats we're gonna get rid of the rats. You're gonna be in pest control.
ভাই এটা নিয়ে কথা বলো না।
Pest control, okay? তুমি থাকো হচ্ছে যে দুইটা জায়গায়, it's you better off going somewhere else, man. Better off going somewhere else. Anyway, so that's a wrap for this week's podcast.
Yes, we did the preview of Gameweek 20. We did your transfer suggestions. We did our very first wildcard draft for Adil. We had some. I hope I was able to help you, Adil, on your wildcard. It's a thing that you can do a lot of tinkering for the next few hours, I'm sure.
Dango. Thank you for the Dango one. Apart from that, তুমি সব কিছু হ্যাঁ বলে গেছো. So
Nah, I told you about Dango, I told you about Gabriel, and I told you about
the
your
wood
keeper
factor.
situation.
Yeah,
The
the
wood
keeper.
factor.
Yeah, the wood
The wood
factor.
factor. So, and there was also, we talked about the captaincies. So,
Yeah, so let's see if I'm getting anything below 80 points this week. That means I am very much consistently in 90 and number 9 and number 10 position in the mini
remember
league.
the rule of thumb, guys, that if you play your wildcard, you have to be very confident you're scoring above 66, which means you're targeting 6 points from everyone. So, Adil, I think that you should do a calculation and make sure you have at least 6 points from everyone, including your keeper.
Dango আমাকে একাই 12 পয়েন্ট দিবে.
Inshallah.
Dango baby. আমি কিন্তু Dango রে আনতেছি. Okay, so everybody who's watching and listening, I'm bringing Dango. Otara Dango.
And this is an example of someone who plays FPL out of Abeg, like literally. একটা নাম পাইছে এখন বাচ্চাদের মতো লাফায় ওটার পিছিয়ে যাইতেছে।
না, ও স্কোর করছে লাস্ট উইকে. Oh, he's a right winger. Manchester United are in dire need of a right winger. So he's athletic built, speed আছে, pace আছে, finishing আছে.
Yeah, and he's giving Semenyo a run for the money.
Yes. So I think both of them can play because he can play in both wings. So Semenyo can also switch to the left and he can switch to the right.
For sure,
So
yes.
yeah, আবেগের সাথে data mix করা।
আবেগের সাথে
রাখে
data,
আল্লাহ
I like
মারেকে
that.
formation, okay?
I like that.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Fardan, we cannot promise anything, but inshallah, we'll definitely we'll try to come back for the next episode. Will Manchester United concede 10 goals against Liverpool?
Yes. Yeah, no problem.
And in meantime, I hope Japan and Mitoma does something.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Inshallah.
All right. Take care, guys. Fardan, thanks for staying awake.
No problem, no
I
problem.
tried my best.
No, don't worry about it. Guys, don't forget to subscribe and like our videos and comment.
Moshla wrap up. Take care.
Take care.